All right, good morning, everybody. Yep, I'm coming at you topless from the basement first thing in the morning. Super good question yesterday. How do you maintain your nutritional programming um, in the face of family, friends, work, and travel? So, this is going to start out philosophical and then it's going to move more towards practical. All right, number one. do you actually love yourself? Okay, do you? And are you looking at yourself like from outside of your body as somebody that you love and you want the best for? Because most people don't. Most people actually have a lot of self-hate and they don't want the best for themselves, right? And so I think that this is an arena where this happens all the time where um, like you've got a goal and then you become smart enough to develop a nutritional strategy or plan, but then you just don't hold yourself in high enough esteem to execute it because you're not important enough. And obviously the things I listed, making other people happy, um, letting an 8-year-old decide what the food choices are going to be, and just avoiding that pain of that confrontation is more valuable than treating yourself with love and respect. So it's kind of silly, but do you love yourself? You may need to reevaluate that because I think most people don't. Most people have malevolence towards themselves inside, and that's something that you're going to have to look deep and try and understand. Are you a martyr for your life? And you're allowing your fitness goals to be sacrificed on the altar of martyrdom? I know it's kind of deep, but that's where we got to start. Um, and so then the next one after you address that is, are you making friends with people that have your best interests in mind? Because if they're submising and undermining your goals, then they're not. And maybe you need to get them out of your life. Now, if we're talking about your children or your spouse, right, this isn't that practical. But if you have negative influences of friends and people, and yes, this can be work. Now, do you quit your job? No, you may not quit your job, but stop fraternizing with certain individuals that you work with if you're not forced to. Distance yourself. Get new friends, right? Change who you like on Facebook or what you're looking at. Get friends that are going to uplift you, have your best interest, and move you towards your goal, not further away from it. All right. So those are the first two things, and really that can apply for any goal that you have, not just nutrition. That's kind of broad. Now I'm going to get a little more specific. In regards to nutrition, one thing I know to be true is you cannot look at it as an all or none success, like on like a bite by bite basis, meal by meal, day by day. What do I mean by that? In life, you have to have margins for success and failure. And this is going to come to my overall nutritional strategy. Many times people will set up meal plans, or they're going to say, I'm going to execute clean eating, or I'm going to execute keto. And I don't just think, I know through, looking at research, psychological research and nutritional data, is that this does not work. Meaning an all or none approach. Like, let's just say you're going to execute clean eating and you do 6 days perfect, and then day 7 your first meal is donuts, orange juice, and coffee because you're at a work thing and you're hungry. Are you like, oh well, I guess I'm off the clean eating, screw it, for the rest of the day now I'm just going to have pizza, and then let's just bring it all on and just have this full on deal? And then you never recover from that the next day, right? So you made 6 days, oh, now you're out, right? Because you're like, oh, screw it, I messed up, there's no going back now, right? It's an all or nothing thing. You're either on it or you're off it. That does not work. All right, we know it's easy for people to lose weight, but then almost everybody gains it all back because whatever strategies they used during their fat loss phase, they can't maintain long term because they never develop any habits. So your nutritional strategy has to have margin. And that's why I practice flexible dieting, macro counting, conscious awareness of what you're eating, however you want to look at it. Because then you're allowed to not be so strict all the time. I mean, this can be, probably for me, if you looked at the meals I'm having, you'd go, well, that's cheat food or that's not diet food. Well, yeah, well, guys, that doesn't matter. Clean eating does not matter. Keto doesn't matter. We've already talked about that. What I mean by matter is how it influences your overall energy balance within a meal, within a day, within a week, within a month. That's going to determine your physique more than any other thing, more than food choice, more than macronutrient split. And I mean, for the general person who's just looking for weight control and to not, become obese, that's going to get it done. I mean, even for most competitors, if you just have control over your energy balance long term, you're going to be fine. You're going to be healthy. You're not going to have crazy amounts of body fat. Now, I'm not saying this is easy. You have to pay attention to things, right? You have to have conscious awareness. You have to track. You have to monitor. One book I read a long time ago, it seems a lot of people, I don't know why they don't read it, but it was actually part of a multi-level marketing company that I was involved with and did really well in for a while and sharpened my sales skills. But there's this book, it's called Dr. Anderson's Healthy Habits or whatever, and it's 80% good. It's probably been rewritten now, I don't know, but he's got this he looked at the Center for Disease Control, has data on people who've lost, I think it's like 80 pounds or something, and those that kept it off, they practiced these certain behaviors. And it's really good. It's like they exercise, an hour a day. They monitor their weight. They monitor their waist and hips. They are involved in social support groups for people that support their goals. They eat frequent meals. And now, some of these end up, I think, being less important, but if you're going to eat one huge meal per day, you may get out of control, right? Because you've gotten super crazy hungry, your hunger's out of control, and then you can go nuts, right? So anyway, that's kind of just the beginning, I think, of some mistakes people make. And I think it's okay, like, if you're going to start out on a meal plan that somebody else wrote and you go hardcore on it, that's fine, but you have to, move away from that and kind of understand, all right, what am I actually putting in my body here, and then how did that influence me? Because you're going to see there's a lot more margin and variation that you can have. It's not just oh, tilapia and rice is that's all I can do. I mean, that's just stupid. It's not even true. A little story, one time my daughter had this birthday party and my wife ordered way too much pizza, way too much, and we filled the whole freezer with it, and she's like, how are we gonna eat all this pizza? And I was like, don't worry, I'm gonna have 1 or 2 pieces every day for the next month. And it's fine, right? So after my workout, I would just have 1 or 2 pieces of pizza, and I didn't gain fat. Now, I don't think I was cutting or anything, but I have enough margin, guys, to eat a piece of pizza every day. It's not going to impact my physique. What did I do? Well, I just didn't have any bacon that day. I didn't have any egg yolks, right? I didn't have any other sources of cheese because I was monitoring my fat grams, so I fit it in, right? Flexible dieting. You can exchange certain things that have the same macronutrient split, so then at the end of the day, you're still within your calorie balance and your budget. That's the philosophy, but to be able to do it, you have to pay attention to what you're eating. Every meal, every day. Now, do you have to do it every time? No, you can probably take half a day off a week. You can probably take, I do it where I just track, the first till dinner, and then I eat whatever I want for dinner, right? If I'm not cutting, you go, and you just get really good and aware of what you're eating, and when you're gonna in risk of overeating, you stop because now you're full, right? Like you have pants on and you're like, shit, I'm getting full. I better stop eating. So this is getting long, so I want to hit some real practical things now. Um, so, scenario one, you've got a work party coming up, and you don't want to look awkward and not eat what everyone else is eating because you have, um, some neuroticism and you don't want this to come up that you're dieting. What do? Well, you can fast into the party, right? Like if you know it's going to be high fat foods, a taco bar, I don't know, then just don't eat fat the whole day and then come and okay, I mean, every person, even a small female, is going to have 30 grams of fat, even if they're cutting, right? So eat no fat till you get to the party, and then you can have, fatty beef and chicken wings or whatever it is. That's one example. It's going to be Christmas. You're going to go to your mom's. You don't want to piss your mom off by not eating her pie. What do? Well, you're not going to train on Christmas, so just fast all the way. Don't eat anything till you get to your mom's, and then know, okay, shit, I can eat 2,000 calories, right? I can eat 1,500 calories at mom's, and she's not going to mind. That would be like the not probably. You could do that and it'll work. You won't gain fat. Now, one strategy I like to use is just eat protein and vegetables. Don't talk about yourself. Don't draw attention to yourself, right? Every party you go to, the taco bar example, just have some meat, have some vegetables. There's always like a vegetable tray thing there. You want some dessert, just have like a little bit. That's what the thing Dr. A always talks about. Like, you want to try something? All right, cool. Like, get a dessert and just eat like a little bit. Now, I get it. People look at you and they're going to see, oh, he's fit, whatever, he's got low body fat, he doesn't eat shit. It makes them feel bad, right? So if that's a problem for you in social situations, just change the subject. Don't talk about food. Don't talk about your fitness goals because it's going to make people uncomfortable. Even if they ask me, I just go, man, I eat everything. I don't know. you know, I mean, unless you want to get into like a real deep educational conversation about it, just don't talk about it. It's not a big deal. Most people aren't even going to look at. Most people are more concerned about how their hair looks or what they're wearing than like what you're eating. So just get that out of your mind. Now, as far as like kids go, well, guys, we need to eat like adults and be models for our kids, and we shouldn't be feeding our kids a bunch of crap anyway. Now I know that's not, I don't know, they like watch TV and want Fruit Loops or whatever, but honestly, most of the food, you can make it pretty adjustable. Like I just said, like cereals. Well, that's a great post-workout situation. I'm a high carb advocate, and if you're training hard, then everybody should be able to get 200 grams of carbs, even if you're a small female, right, on training days. So, I mean, a lot of this food, it you should be able to eat it. Like, I eat Rice Chex, I eat the turkey bacon we give my kids now. A lot of times we'll give them pizza once a week, and I'll have a half a piece or whatever, and if there's leftovers, then I'll eat a half a piece a couple days later and it's gone. So I'm not saying I don't eat kid food. I don't really prefer hot dogs and corn dogs, so I don't really eat that. But again, like, we should be feeding our kids fruits and vegetables, right? We should be giving them like whole food protein sources like milk and cottage cheese and chocolate milk and meat. So the things that you're going to eat, it's like, here's your kids' food, here's your food. A portion of your food should be included in what they're eating, just a smaller degree. So that's your job, man. Like, eat like an adult and then teach your kids the strategies. Like, my kids know, like, oh, protein, they know what that is. They know what vegetables are. They know what fruits are. Now, do they still want ice cream and stuff? Well, yeah, but they want to eat my Halo Top. They want, so there's like little like Greek yogurt bars. We give them that. I eat those. So it's like, I eat all my kids' food, right? It's just, that's not like all I eat for a meal. So yeah, what am I talking about? I'm talking about planning, again, all this boring planning, margin, accountability, knowing where you're at within a day. I mean, I'm looking at my Fitness Pal probably 2 or 3 times a day, and I've been tracking calories for 10 years, so I could probably look at it one time a day for like 30 seconds and I'd still be within like 80% accuracy, which is going to be enough to get me where I need to go. And that brings up another thing. It's like, do you weigh everything all the time when you're flexible dieting? Well, no, but I think you should. If you've never done it, you should weigh everything for a month to 6 weeks so you get really good, so you can eyeball stuff. Now, I still weigh things when I'm just bored and I'm just sitting there, you know. It literally takes no time. You know, people act like this is such a sacrifice, and it's like, I mean, I'm going to show you my physique in a second just to make this video more fun. But it's like, yeah, everything's a sacrifice, guys. It's like I say, like it's not hard, but like it ain't easy to execute. And you know, I just started kind of just doing a mini cut, and like my first couple days like really sucked. I was like, I knew, okay, I want to keep my fat really low because I want to keep my carbs moderate to high because I want to train well. Well, my first couple days it was like, oop, 60 grams of fat, 70 grams of fat, whoops, whoops, whoops. And then by the end of the week, it was like I was hitting 40, I was hitting 45 as my initial goal, because it took me a little bit to just kind of get my brain and the eating on the same page. Now, was I like, oh shit, mini cuts over, I went over 20 grams of fat more than I was supposed to? No, because like I'm mature, and it's, you know, throw the baby out with the bathwater concept. You don't have to be a perfectionist when you're dieting. You really don't, especially if you're training hard. Now, if you're not training, you're not going to have as much margin, right? Because all of your calorie deficit has to come from your diet because you have no calorie burn. Now, I wouldn't advocate that approach unless you're handicapped and you can't, or you're injured, or you're like morbidly obese, and if you exercise, you're going to get hurt at the beginning. Then yeah, then you're going to have to do it all with food. But anyway, this is getting long. Let's just see. You know, hip flexors. Oh, my hip flexors are cramping up. Hold on. Okay, that's that's all we got. I hope you liked the video. If I didn't address, I hope I gave some good strategies and some good philosophy. But yeah, I mean, ultimately, it's individual responsibility, and that's a lot of what, you know. Who's in charge of your life, you or a 6-year-old? I hope it's you, right? Is your boss in charge of your life, your coworkers, peer pressure? Like, everybody's doing it. Let's not eat any protein and just have cake for dinner. It's like, no, guys, get real. Eat like an adult. Hope you liked the video.